Coachella, the most famous music festival in the world. This can either be one of the best weekends of your life or a complete nightmare. And it has nothing to do with the music. If you don't know this before you go, you're going to regret it. Here's what I wish I knew before going, because I went a few years ago, and I don't want you to repeat the same mistakes I did. All the Instagram views you see online, all the celebrities that show up in the middle of the desert in Palm Springs, it's the place to be in April, no doubt. It comes down to how you plan the entire weekend, everything around it, where you stay, how you get there, and how you plan each day. This is your TLDR of what you need to know before you go. The biggest mistake people make with Coachella has nothing to do with the festival itself. It's where they stay and how they get there. If you're coming from Southern California, just drive. It's straightforward and it's usually the easiest option. But beware, traffic, heat, and even dust storms can make the drive rough. If you're flying in for the festival, Palm Springs International Airport is your closest bet, but it's the most expensive. So you could go to LAX, but it's the furthest away and has the most hassle. My suggestion would be go to John Wayne Airport, or better yet, Ontario International Airport or San Bernardino International Airport. Those aren't as expensive, but at the same time, they are close enough. And once you get there, parking is a whole different problem. It can take a long time, and in extreme heat, it becomes exhausting fast. Just look at 2025 Coachella's experience. If you're spending 2 to 3 hours a day just getting in and out, your experience is already compromised. So the real question becomes, do you camp or do you stay somewhere nearby? What do I mean? Hotels near Coachella get booked early and are usually very expensive, 5 to 6 months or even more in advance. Even budget options in Palm Springs aren't cheap during the festival. Like, you can look at $500 at least for some nights for a simple Airbnb. If you're trying to save money, you can stay further out, like Desert Hot Springs or Yucca Valley area. You could save hundreds with that decision alone. But you're trading cost for convenience. Long drives every day will wear you down, and good luck finding a rideshare from those locations. You've also got shuttle chaos, rideshare walks that can span 5 blocks at least for a rideshare that costs $50. So you might be tempted to go into camping and thinking that it will save you money. After all, it's a Coachella staple. On-site camping means you can take breaks, skip traffic, and catch more sets. Many veterans say on-site camping, despite being rough, is an overall better experience, especially for first-timers, but it really doesn't. Between expensive food, long lines, bad showers, traffic getting in, and the heat, it can be really rough if you're not prepared. From my experience, staying in a Airbnb, Vrbo, or a hotel is the better option if you can make it work. Especially if you're going to do glamping at Coachella, which they do have that, but the prices are much more expensive than even resorts. If you didn't plan ahead, some people stay further out, like Joshua Tree National Park or areas outside of the valley to save money. But the money savings comes with a trade-off, and that is the further away you are, the more of a hassle it is to get to the festival. Even if you're within Indio city limits, like I was for my Airbnb, getting to and from the festival took at least 40 minutes. So really, there's no perfect option. You're choosing between cost, comfort, and convenience. The next thing that will make or break your Coachella experience is how you plan each day. What do I mean? If you show up at the wrong time, you're either exhausted by 9 p.m. or you're missing the artists you came for. So too early basically means burned out by night. And if you arrive too late, you miss sets and you are in long lines. You're not going to see everyone you want. I want to make that clear. You are not going to see everyone you want, And if you don't plan ahead, you'll end up missing your top picks because artists overlap. You will have to choose and compromise. Don't try to see everything. Stage hopping to catch parts of two overlapping sets usually isn't worthwhile. You're going to have to choose. Stages can be far apart, crowds are thick, and you end up with like a bad spot at both shows instead of one good one at either. So pick your priorities and just commit. If you do want to get a good spot for a specific event and not like by the speakers and all that or way in the back, arrive like halfway through the previous act. Listen up again. If you want a good spot for a specific set, arrive halfway through the previous set. And if it's the big headlines, get 3.5 shows before. Because again, when that set ends, 25 to 40% of the crowds often leave and you can move significantly closer. You got to get up, keep going up, and avoid the fenced off areas because there's going to be certain areas where you're going to be fenced off way in front and you got to know where you're going and coordinate. Map it out beforehand or when it's emptier, because if you screw up like I did where I was trying to go further up in front, I ended up picking the wrong side of the stage and it ended up only getting to a certain distance to where it was GA plus. I only got general admission, which GA plus is another discussion topic. Then you're gonna not see your favorite artists up close. Group logistics are harder than you think. Texts can take like hours to deliver with 80,000 people on the network. So establish a simple, specific meeting spot in advance. Like, do it before you get in through WhatsApp. That's your best friend. And somewhere obvious, like a giant art piece, Spectre Tower, because everyone else will pick that too. So I would pick something more or less conspicuous. One trick is to add timestamps to every group text since messages arrive so delayed, like at least 10 minutes or more. That way you know when something was sent more accurately. Next, Coachella isn't just about what you see, it's about how long you can actually last out there. Coachella is a marathon, not a sprint. Walking, crowds, if you don't pace yourself, the day is over early. What do I mean? With heat, don't burn yourself out on day one. Plan which sets you must see, but leave room to wander. Next, what should you actually bring with you? Because what you have on you can make or break your entire day. First, bring a refillable water bottle. Staying hydrated out here is non-negotiable and should go without saying. Second, sunscreen. The sun's no joke. This is a desert, and if you get burned early, the rest of your weekend is done. Third, comfortable shoes. You're walking miles every single day, so don't underestimate that. And also, bring something for dust, like bandana, face coverings, because when the wind picks up, it gets bad. Don't bring any flip-flops or anything. Everything closed toe. And I'd recommend a portable charger. Your phone will die fast. Trust me, after many vlogs, many recordings, your signal will also take a hitting. So do bring a charger. There are many stations throughout the premise. Lastly, pack light. You don't want to be carrying a bunch of stuff all day in the heat. Bring a few first aid things like Band-Aids, but they will check when you go through the security of the festival what you have and what you're bringing in. Make sure you're not bringing drugs or more valuable things like even high definition cameras and drones, which are prohibited. Small kits that save you. So bring Advil, electrolyte packets, blister callus pads, and a wrist strap for your phone to prevent theft, because trust me, there's a lot of pickpocketing, and these sound like minor until day 2 when you desperately need all of them, because believe me, you will need it when you're in the middle of the desert with thousands of other people rushing around all over the festival grounds at the Empire Polo Club, which is where the Coachella Festival is held every year. So, to summarize, bring the following: a sunscreen, refillable water bottle, sunglasses, a hat, bring a face covering like a neck gaiter for dust and wind. Also, a portable fan helps more than you think, and a battery pack or portable charger. Make sure to have a couple credit cards because the festival is cashless. Bring wipes, hand sanitizer. Those run out quickly inside. But make sure your bag is compliant with festival rules or you won't get in with it. So size matters. The smaller, the better. They will check purses too, so do be mindful of that. Speaking of security lines, getting in and out of Coachella is definitely something you shouldn't underestimate. It can take hours of your day if not prepared. So getting in can involve long lines, more than even TSA at times, especially later at the day. So I would suggest go in earlier, but if you must, definitely try and avoid going in at the peak 5 p.m. rush. And leaving is just as important because if you stay until the very end, expect heavy crowds, long walks, and traffic getting out. Some people leave a little bit early after the headline show, like around 9:30. No, around like, I would say 11:30 p.m. Saturday, for example. But you miss out. So you got to pick and choose. You have to decide what matters most to you, being in the crowds or staying for the full experience. When it comes to ticketing and planning, do this far in advance. So pre-sale tickets go on sale June of the year prior to the festival. So this year it would have gone out in June 2025. We're recording this June for Coachella 2026. So for Coachella 2027, stay tuned for June 2026. The official sale, like I said, opens up then and also opens up after the lineup drops. And the lineup drops in January and both sell out extremely quickly, especially weekend one. If you miss both, Ticketmaster and StubHub are your like backup options. And you can download the official Coachella app. It lets you register your wristband, which allows replacement if lost or stolen, believe it or not. And view set times, access the interactive map. It's basically your lifeline at the festival. Don't only watch music. Our installations, the Doozle Lab stage, the food vendors wandering around are genuinely a huge part of what makes Coachella different from a regular concert event. The weekend goes by incredibly fast, so do the non-music stuff on day one, not later. And one other thing, don't just be obsessively recording and looking through your phone at all the events. Just take in the moment. Try and get off your phone and not try to Instagram every single thing. You got thousands of other people doing it, so you won't stand apart from the rest of the crowd. VIP isn't worth it for most people, or GA+. What I mean by that? VIP just means shorter bathroom lines and a less crowded viewing area. Just to get more comfortable. The real fun is in gen admission with the crowd. Most veterans say skip the upgrades and spend that money on better places to stay. And believe me, you're going to need it even for simple Airbnbs and ride shares and hotels, which most of them book out way months in advance, probably 6 months in advance. I'd be mindful of that. I was able to snag a good deal, well, not a good deal, but a Airbnb stay in January when Coachella was April of that year when I went. Another thing festivals often do are lockers. Are they worth it? Well, at Coachella, rental lockers are on site. Medium ones run around $89 to $100 for large ones, and extra large are more than $100. So for the weekend, obviously. So if you're not camping, this is where you stash your jackets during the day and pick it up at night. Although, believe it or not, once in a blue moon, it will be a rainy Coachella one day. So reserve in advance on their website because they sell out fast. Coachella Festival has 8 stages covering various genres, large-scale art installations, food vendors, and even fairground rides, some of which are kind of staple to representing the festival. There are multiple stages, like the main stage, Sahara, and a few others, but honestly, you don't need to memorize them ahead of time. Just look them up on the map, and they're pretty good about telling you what type of music are in each. And some of them are indoors, like Yuma, for example. There are multiple stages, like the main stage, Sahara, and Yuma, to name a few. But honestly, you don't need to memorize them ahead of time. You'll figure it out once you get there. Just stay flexible and explore different types of music, and maps will be there, and they'll tell you online or there what specific artists are going to be playing at each. Mindset is mindset stuff nobody says out loud, but go in with lower expectations for logistics and higher ones for random amazing moments. Group fights can happen, people get lost, sets get missed, random kisses happen. It happens to everyone. The festivals that people remember most aren't the perfectly optimized ones. There's no such thing. Also, the subreddit for Coachella is genuinely probably the best Bible out there for you to understand everything, be prepared. So I will post a link to that, but people post real-time tips, answer every question, share insider info that no other one or a guide is able to cover. So to wrap this up, here are the biggest mistakes to avoid. Number 1, don't underestimate the logistics of getting there, getting in, and getting around, because that takes more energy and time than you think. Number 2, don't try to do everything. You're going to have to choose and compromise, so plan ahead and stick to your priorities. 3, don't ignore the heat, and don't ignore the cold either. If you don't pace yourself and stay hydrated, your day will end early. Remember, you're going to be in air conditioning or you're going to be in heat outside. It's your choice. Number 4, don't wait until the last minute to figure things out. You already learned this from when you buy tickets. You never wait until the last minute, especially for this festival and for stay and accommodations. So this shouldn't be any more different when it comes to the actual event itself. The more you plan ahead, the better your experience will be. And if you get this right, Coachella can be one of the best weekends you'll ever have. So make it sure that you get that down. When you go to Coachella, over the mail, you're going to receive this box here. And inside of it, as you see, you will get your little wristband, your access wristband. This is what you need to basically enter and go and all that sort, and go into different parts of like the stages and all that. If you have G plus, GA plus, it'll say that on here. I have here GA. As you can see, I went a few years ago, and it's pretty straightforward. You have to put it on and on your wrist, obviously, and as soon as you tighten it, though, it's kind of hard to loosen it. So do be mindful that there's no way to loosen it. You just have to tighten it. That means that as soon as you tighten it, it's unsellable. And people try and sell these typically at the entrances and days before for thousands of dollars. But yeah, this is essentially what it looks like. And it'll come through the mail weeks before if you get your tickets earlier. And as you can see here with the packet, you get various guides and all that sort, and stickers, and lost and found tags to mess around to use if you lose stuff, and all sorts of stuff that I haven't really touched. But yeah, this is my little package of Coachella that I got a few years ago, and you would probably get the same thing too if you buy through the actual festival website and stuff rather than resales. If you do through resales, I don't think you will receive any of this, but you will receive the wristband, which is the most important thing. Now that you know the do's and don'ts of Coachella Music Festival, there's actually more to this community that meets the eye. In fact, it includes famous Palm Springs made famous by Hollywood. If you like this video, check out that previous video I made about the area, and give a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe for more content. Coffee Travels signing out.